If you're watching this on YouTube, you are watching a cut-down version, kind of a highlight reel of our reaction to this episode. You can watch our full reaction, sync up the episode yourself, and watch it along with us over on Patreon. The link to that's in the description, so go check that out there. You can watch every single episode of this series with us up to this point. Well, Alex, we're coming off of 2 episodes back-to-back of Deep Space Nine, because that is how they released, and we watch everything in release order here on the Star Trek journey. And now we're going into 2 episodes of TNG back-to-back.
For a while we were kind of talking, we thought the script was flipped, where we were more excited for Deep Space Nine rather than TNG. But I think now we've reverted back to our old ways of being a little more excited for TNG.
Yeah, I mean, it's all, at the end of the day, usually recency bias. The last episode of TNG was great, with the Worf episode of Parallels.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest with you, I don't even remember Deep Space Nine, what the episodes were that we watched last week.
Monster, Odo's a monster, and...
Oh, and the fucking casino.
Yeah.
Casino guy.
The casino guy, yeah. The biggest waste of using Guinan species of all time.
Yeah, so recency bias is what it is. But in addition to that, episode 12 here today of TNG in its last season. It's dwindling down. We don't have that much left, and so I'm trying to, I'm looking forward to every single episode. I know I won't love all of them. There's already been plenty that we haven't liked this season, but last one was great. Hope we can keep it going.
There's got to be some other gold out there. There's got to be some gold left in this this final little bit of the mine of TNG.
I don't see why we have to do this every year. I thought that last year the teachers had agreed that they would...
Look at that fucking thing.
Why does it have to be me?
I don't know. I think the resemblance is rather striking. Wouldn't you agree, number one?
That's a good impression.
The finalists will be here in half an hour. You have to pick a first, second, and third place and 4 honorable mentions.
4?
It is coded priority 1.
Put it through, Mr. Worf. Excuse me, Counsel.
Got out of it.
You're authorized to exceed warp speed limitations for the duration of this assignment. Captain Picard Day?
Oh, I'm I'm a role model.
I just love that the sign is the most, typical kid sign with the messy letters. And
yeah, some in all caps and then some in lower, yeah.
Energize.
Aye, sir.
Oh, shit, it's John Locke.
Nice.
Pressman, yes, of course. You were Will's first commanding officer.
As a matter of fact, the Pegasus is the reason I'm here, and the Romulans have found her.
Well, that's how you do a good intro. I'm excited.
John Locke from Lost, right?
Yeah, one of my favorite characters ever. I went to the gym and I forgot my brush. I went, oh, fuck. So what I have here, so that never happens again, I have a little comb on the keys. Yeah, because the amount of times where I forget a brush or a comb or just completely lose it is insane. And it happened today, so.
The Warbird was then ordered to locate the rest.
All right.
The Pegasus was a prototype. Experimental engine, new weapons.
Hey!
Oh!
I am Commander Cyril of the Romulan vessel Terex. May I ask what you are doing in this system? We are conducting a survey of gaseous anomalies.
How interesting. So are we.
But we must return to our research.
Nice.
Was that the first Black Romulan?
Black Romulan, I think so.
All right, say it with me.
Whoa!
That's cool.
They're in here race swapping these Romulans. Romulans are white!
So how long have you had that beard?
About 4 years.
4? Yeah. No.
We can finish what we started 12 years ago. The Chief of Starfleet Security has personally given me her assurance of complete support. You've been instructed not to reveal the true nature of our mission to anyone else, not even Captain Picard. Don't worry. It won't be like it was 12 years ago. And this time, no one's gonna stop us.
I don't know about just. I mean, he is an admiral, but I don't know about just taking this guy's word for it. But he is an admiral. I don't know. Kind of follow chain of command, I guess.
Not this time.
Riker never does anyway.
I never met Will until he reported on board at Farpoint Station.
Hey!
He disobeyed a direct order because he thought he was right. I knew that I had found my number one.
Damn.
Frankly, I've always felt it was more important for an officer to trust his captain's judgment. Orders have to be obeyed without question, or lives may be lost.
Makes me think of Allegiance with fake Picard.
12 years ago, I needed an officer that I could count on in a crisis, and that someone was Will Riker. Without his loyalty, none of us would have survived.
Oh, they have two completely different opinions on him.
Yeah, that's interesting.
What's wrong?
I think I busted a rib.
Excuse me.
Bat'leth moves and Mr. Worf.
He cut you again?
Oh, it's a good thing we're using the sticks instead of the real blades.
It's broken, all right.
How about that chest hair?
Oh,
I haven't
yeah.
seen that in quite a while. Angel 1, remember that episode?
You both must have gotten a little carried away, that's all.
The one with
No,
the
it was
women.
my fault. I got distracted at a crucial moment.
You think Riker's having like indecision with the Admiral being here, his old captain? That's why he had that moment with Worf where he was like, I knew what I needed to do, but I didn't do it.
Yeah.
It is possible the Pegasus drifted into the asteroid's gravitational field and was pulled down into one of the fissures.
Yeah, it's just stuck in there.
I recommend we destroy the asteroid.
Hey!
Aye, sir. Initiating ionization field pulse.
When he
Bar Burton.
Yeah.
He's swooping around.
I loved his 10 forward shot
Oh, yes.
with the people in the foreground.
The warbird has completed its sensor sweep. They are moving out.
We're out of here.
Initiate search of grid 163.
Beginning sensor sweeps.
Commander, I want to see you in the captain's ready room.
Knew that was coming.
Data knows something's
Data
up.
knows.
What the hell is the matter with you? Destroy the Pegasus before we've even taken a look at it?
I thought it was more important that the Romulans.
Well, you were wrong! We can't very well do that if we destroy the Pegasus, now can we?
No, sir.
It hasn't been easy for you, I'm sure, keeping your captain and friends in the dark like this. I hope you understand that it's necessary.
I understand that you think it's necessary.
We go well.
12 years ago, a lot of older and more seasoned officers turned away from their duty. But you stood up for what was right. I know the kind of man you are. I know that I can count on you again.
It's good stuff.
This is really good.
The scan analysis you asked for?
subject inquiry into mutiny aboard USS Pegasus. There is sufficient evidence to conclude that certain members of the crew did mutiny.
But not Riker.
It wasn't easy to get this report, but it was classified by Starfleet intelligence.
Look how comfortable he is.
It's gonna know even Starfleet has the CIA.
When they turned on him, I thought they were a bunch of self-serving, disloyal officers, so I grabbed a phaser and I defended my captain.
Oh my god.
There was an explosion.
They all died.
Oh my god.
Will, there was no further investigation. This report was classified and then it was quietly buried.
Classic Starfleet.
Sir, may I suggest you take this up with Admiral...
I'm taking this up with you, Will!
I'm under direct orders from Admiral Pressman not to discuss this, sir.
Very well. If I find that that trust has been misplaced, then I will have to reevaluate the command structure of this ship. Dismissed.
Oh my god.
What a tough spot for Riker, dude.
Picard's gotta be thinking, Riker, after all I've taught you about disobeying orders, you should do it.
Your request for a delay is denied.
Margaret.
Ooh, hit her with the first name.
I know that the chief of Starfleet Intelligence herself is watching this one, Jean-Luc.
I wonder if we're going to see her. Because they dropped her name earlier.
Her name sounds familiar. I hate Starfleet, bro. I hate them.
Yeah, it's... Oh, I can't wait to talk about this episode already.
Yeah. As soon as the Admiral said, turn the balance of power, I just went, oh, no.
This chasm is large enough for us to maneuver in. Besides, if we ever hope to salvage the Pegasus, we're going to need a starship to do it.
But I am unaware of any prior situations where a starship was taken so deeply inside a planetary body.
You entered the Dyson Sphere.
Admiral, I don't think that we can risk...
I've made my decision. Prepare to take the Enterprise in, Captain. That's an order.
Mr. Data, will you please note in the ship's log that this action is being taken over my explicit objection?
Oh boy, we're going to have another mutiny.
Picard's like, I want it on the record that this ain't my fault.
Ensign Gates, plot a course
Gates.
into the chasm.
Oh, Gates.
Maneuvering.
Little Easter egg there.
Yeah. Gates. That's Gates McFadden. Really?
Yeah. Gates McFadden, she does the Enterprise voice.
Oh my god. Oh my god, look at how tight that is. Jesus Christ. If it was me.
Yeah, I crashed right into the wall immediately. It'd be like that Galaxy Quest scene.
Vincent Gates does this. She makes a name for herself, I think.
There it is.
Commander Riker and I will beam directly into engineering.
All right, Riker, kick his ass. Oh my god. Do you not decompose in space?
They just said the vacuum
The
of space preserved it.
Okay.
I wonder how many of the crew are buried back there.
We're not here for a memorial service.
This guy sucks, man.
I can't let you start these experiments again. It was wrong 12 years ago, and it is wrong today. This room is filled with dead bodies. These people died because of this thing.
They tried to shut down an experiment they didn't understand. Something went wrong and it killed them.
No. We killed them. And if I had it to do over again, I would have grabbed the phaser and pointed it at you instead of them.
Oh!
They were brave enough to risk their lives to stop you from violating a treaty the Federation signed in good faith.
I made you, mister, and I can break you just as easily.
Oh. Is he just going to take this thing just back onto the Enterprise? Don't worry about this!
I hope Riker was secretly holding down his communicator button while that scene was happening. Probably not.
The Romulans have destroyed the entrance to the chasm with their disruptors.
Ha! Great.
It's interesting that they signed this treaty with the Romulans, even though they're still... It's not like a treaty they have with the Klingons, you know?
Mm-hmm. It's
more just like a war-related treaty.
Throughout, there's many episodes where, especially the Romulans, are trying to bait them into breaking it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a piece of equipment in Admiral Pressman's quarters under guard that might get us out of here. It's a prototype for a Federation cloaking device.
Oh.
You just ended your career, Will. I'm taking command of this vessel.
Oh, God. Here we go.
Mr. Worf, escort the captain to his
Now
quarters.
they're not going to listen to him. Bro, you're on the Enterprise.
Come on, Worf. Oh!
Obviously, they have to get out of here. But I love, like, this is illegal. You cannot be making this. Sir, we can use it on the Enterprise. All right, go ahead.
Well, they're going to die in this asteroid.
Yeah, I know. That's why, they have to get out.
My guess is that at the end of the episode, they're going to shoot it out into space and blow it up.
Yeah, I can't trust anybody in Starfleet.
But is this the first time we've heard the details of this treaty and how the Enterprise is... or
definitely this in depth.
Yeah, Starfleet isn't allowed to develop
cloaking technology? Yeah, I think so.
That's interesting.
Activating power systems.
Put this guy in the brig.
We will reach the rock face in 5 seconds.
This is cool.
Yeah, this is tense. This is how you do tension, even though we know they're not going to die, but it's good tension.
We have cleared the asteroid, Captain.
And are they going to see this?
If the Romulans see us decloaking, they'll
know the truth, Admiral. Which is what everyone will know very shortly.
He's gonna make sure they can't keep it hidden. Imagine the fucking Romulan. What the? Yeah.
They've been waiting for years for Starfleet to break the treaty.
As captain of the Enterprise, I'm placing you under arrest, Mr. Wolf.
I'll have to be placed under arrest as well.
No.
Admiral?
Like, this was a Starfleet
Yeah, like he
mission.
had.
There's other people. Go on.
Basically, the head of the Starfleet CIA giving him permission.
Yeah.
Now, the CIA, they just use him as a patsy. So, I could see that happening also.
Yeah.
Them just cutting their losses. Well, we knew nothing about it.
I can't help but feel that I should have come forward a long time ago.
But when the moment came to make a decision, you made the right one. And I will still be proud to have you as my first officer.
Nice. This is kind of like a rare, good example of a epilogue type scene there. It's definitely needed.
Yeah, for sure.
I think they should have just given the cloaking device to Fred Johnson.
Admiral, can you get Fred Johnson on the view screen?
Who, sir? The Butcher!
The Butcher! Get him on the screen now!
Hail the Butcher!
Well.
And he's in that fucking bar.
Yeah.
Answering it on his phone. John Luke.
It's been a long time.
We just watched The Pegasus, episode 12, right? Of season 7 of TNG. And now we're going to talk about it, but first, our whiteboard reactions. And for me, I said LeVar Burton is 2 for 2.
Yes, he is. I said, Pressman has lost it. I love this episode. I had to look at to see what I said. Gee, I'm so fucking dumb. But LeVar Burton, he's just fine as Geordi, but just keep pulling him behind the camera. Give him a good script with our good friend Ronald Moore, and this is the we talk about the cake analogy. This is one of those times where everything came together, and you have just a delicious, amazing episode of just good stuff. I loved everything about this. I love Terry O'Quinn making the jump, being an admiral. I love the continuity that Starfleet sucks, and the fact that there's this probably an entire internal investigation going on of Starfleet people that are probably completely corrupt. I think to add that little tidbits, or to think about that, would make a lot of sense in previous iterations of the show where higher up people just suck. Similar to Winter Soldier with Hydra implementing. So it'd be fascinating to see if there's some war-hungry people that have formed and when working in secret in Starfleet. But besides the point, infiltrated. Yes, that's a much more accurate word to describe what I'm trying to say. But everything in this one, I love when we can dig back into the past. It wasn't the Potemkin it was the Potemkin in Second Chances, not the Pegasus, so different ship. I love when we can dig back into people's past, and it adds more layers to the character, but it doesn't really detract from who they are now. You hate when you go back and see some retconning that completely changes how you look at a character. This was a great example. Riker's 7 months out of Starfleet, and I'd be in the same way where I've been working my entire life for this, and this crazy thing happens. I'd probably, but Captain, leave the Captain. So all that was wonderful. I love seeing Riker deal with this in terms of separating like who he was then and who he is now, following orders, being the guy that stands up to the Captain. It was wonderful. Nice little button at the end, being arrested, a good little talk. It was great. I loved it.
Yeah, I enjoyed this a lot. Definitely one of my favorite ones so far this season. And I think Admiral Pressman is he's got to be the best Starfleet op that we've seen. There might be others that I'm not thinking of right now, but from all the way to TOS to now, there's just been this meme of like Starfleet sucks, bad admirals, asshole admirals, all this stuff. And, you have someone like Jellicoe who's like, we actually liked him. It's like we agree with him. Here, Pressman is absolutely in the wrong. He's absolutely an op, but he doesn't have go-away heat. Like, he's not grating on screen. He's not like, he's actually a really good character. I wouldn't go as far as to say layered, because he pretty much just has his motivation and that's it. He's not really layered, but I guess maybe the only other one I think of would be good would be from The Wounded, the one that was Chief's old captain.
Yeah.
He was a good one too. He was probably even a little bit more layered because he had trauma and stuff. But this guy, Pressman, he's now my example of when I think of like bad admiral, or asshole admiral. It's this guy, but the actor, did it so well.
Yeah, I think of him, and of course, you got to bring it back to the Doomsday Machine, the original.
With Decker, yeah.
With Decker, the original. I might be looking at Decker in a fonder light. I did.
I mean, he was a captain.
Yeah, he was a captain, but same with Chief's old guy. He was a captain, wasn't he?
Yes.
He was the captain of that ship. Yeah, This. I think people should get in the Starfleet only to work on the Enterprise. You work anywhere else, it's just, I don't know.
But how about those crew on that ship, the Pegasus, doing the mutiny? They stood up for what was right.
Yeah, and they fucking died. And the thing about Riker only survived because he just followed orders and was too afraid to stick up. I mean, I think about myself in that situation. What would I do? And I don't know. I mean, especially all about following the rules, and you don't want to be the guy that fucks up. I don't know. I worked for the railroad for a brief time, and you become a conductor, and the conductor technically tells what the engineer to do. The engineer is the guy that drives the train. And let's say you're a new conductor, you're with an engineer who's been doing it for 20 years, and then it's my job to tell this guy, no, we're not doing that. And I couldn't imagine. I imagine it was the same thing with Riker here. I'm not going to tell this captain, this guy, who's been in Starfleet for years, what to do. I'll help you. But here there was a firefight running to the door or to how they escaped. Whoa.
And I kept waiting for a reveal of, because they kept saying, you picked up a phaser and defended your captain. They said that multiple times. And I was waiting for the reveal of, did he actually kill anybody? Mm-hmm. Or were they just basically implying that by saying it? I'm not sure. They didn't want to go all the way with it, which is fine. You don't have to. I don't need Riker to be confirmed to kill somebody. But it's such a good point, and I think that whole topic, what you just talked about, is what strikes the core of what I really like about this episode, which is the themes and the topics they deal with, more so than the actual credit-to-credit episode. Don't get me wrong, I really liked the episode, I really enjoyed it, but it's not one that I'm, blown away by, visually or with character acting or anything like that. It was a really good episode, but what I love about it is the themes it explores and the kind of headcanon that I can build through it and think about, because something like that with Riker, just that kind of philosophical idea of he made a mistake, he didn't do the right thing, but knowing full well if he had done the right thing, he'd be dead. And it's so utilitarian-wise, he did what he needed to survive, even though that wasn't his mindset at the time. He wasn't just doing it to survive, I don't think. But, that's the outcome. So it's would it really be better if Riker had done the mutiny and just been dead? He's done all of this amazing stuff on the Enterprise. It's hard to say that he was wrong for not doing that and dying. I just find it very fascinating.
Yeah, and just to explore, that's why I wouldn't say this makes him morally gray, but I think every character should have those moments where something like that happens and it sits with them forever, but it helps to their performance later on. I don't want every character here to be Captain America. There's nothing wrong with them. There's all these people with all these different histories of doing stuff wrong. I think Picard with his old ship when Jack Crusher died, I'm pretty sure something happened.
Stargazer?
Yeah, the Stargazer.
And they briefly mention it here. They don't say Stargazer, but he says to Picard, you know what it's like to lose a ship. So
Yeah. I love, because throughout these entire careers, no one's a goody two-shoes. No one's always making the right choice. People are sometimes making the wrong, deadly choice. And unfortunately, sometimes those choices get rewarded. That's a bad word to say, but if you make the absolute right choice sometimes, unknowingly, you could fucking die. Or you make a choice where you don't know what to do, and somehow you survive, and that's survivor's guilt, especially for what happened, and especially you know what they were doing, but you're too scared to say anything, but you have the chance now to do it right, and he does, and I love that. And I loved Jonathan Frakes' performance throughout this when Riker, he gets the data pad, and he's revealing stuff, and Riker's just standing there all uncomfortable because he's probably been holding this in for 12 years, and it's just, oh shit, oh man. But, yeah.
Yeah, and the ending scene too with Picard and Riker, where it brings up that part of it, where he says, I should have come forward a lot earlier. That brings up that whole idea of, not only did he make this mistake, but then he kind of just hoped that it would never come up again. And like, how relatable is that? Is like, we all do things in our life that we're probably not the most proud of, but as you get separated enough from it in time, you stop thinking about it. And like, there's just things that you just hope, oh, I hope that never comes up again. Like, and it could be something just like a small cringe moment, you think about, or a huge decision you make. And it's like, you just think back and you're like, well, I hope that never comes up again. And like, you're not going to come forward and like fucking bring it up, So imagine how Riker felt when that admiral beamed aboard, and you could see the uncomfortableness in him, and now we know why.
Yeah. Do you think Starfleet had them sign, or Starfleet CIA had them sign NDAs or whatever, especially with what they were doing?
That's a really good point. That's interesting because I don't know if the CIA. Now this is Starfleet, so it's a fictional version, but I don't think the CIA is like going around making people sign NDAs. I think if they just think you're dangerous, they kill you. So I feel like if even in Starfleet, if they thought Riker was a danger to ever like reveal this, they'd probably just take him out in some way or ruin his career or do something.
Because they know about it. It's not just these two and somewhere up. Like Picard was able to get the reports by pulling strings, which means
it was buried.
It's buried. It's in there, which means definitely they try to just bury this and cover this up, and maybe not exclusively say, hey, sign an NDA, but one of those, hey, you're going to have a really great career in Starfleet if you just shut the fuck up and never bring this up again, what we were doing.
Plus, when they were doing the reporting and the stuff with the judge and everything, I think through that they could tell, at least at that time, they're like, oh, Will Riker, like, he thinks he did the right thing here, defending his captain. He didn't think the mutiny was correct, so he's not a liability. They probably thought. And, then you think about, we've talked about before about, like, oh, it really seems like Starfleet likes Riker and all this stuff, and it's like, could this have played into it? Like, could this event have been the first time that Starfleet was like, oh, this Will Riker guy, he's on our side,
Oh, yeah.
It's very interesting.
That's an itch right there. It's like, ooh.
And then he keeps turning down the command, pissing them off, and now this might be the final straw. Like, Riker, we thought you were one of us, but nah, you're
out. What do you think about? I love the little lore thing of why Riker was chosen, because I don't think we ever heard that. And then he was going through the list of job applications, and then saw that he eventually, at some point, disobeyed a direct command from, I forget what ship they were talking about.
The Hood. Which we've heard before. We've heard Captain Soto before. A lot of callbacks. Written by Ron Moore, so not a surprise.
Not surprising at all.
And yeah, I love that. The small callback to Farpoint, and then also the lore there, again, you brought up, it doesn't take away anything, it doesn't change or retcon anything negatively, but it's just nice additional stuff to where, now if I do go back and watch a counter at Farpoint, I know that, and it just like plays into it a little bit.
Yeah, if anything, it aligns, because I brought up Allegiance, when fake Picard is doing everything to destroy the ship, and then the crew, and especially Riker, is able to say, no, we're not doing this. Riker 12 years ago? Yeah, we'll go into the sun, and then maybe the other crew's members would have mutinied, but to have that growth where he's able to do that. I'm sure there's other examples of Riker arguing with Picard about stuff.
Yeah, I mean, they always, I don't want to say always, but they do all the time, and it so fits Picard that he would choose someone on purpose to argue with him, or that he knew would stand up to him. Picard might have even talked at some point in the show about that, about, like, he chose Will because, they're different or whatever. So, yeah, loved all of that, and that brings up another theme that they talked about here, the Starfleet element of it, and this being buried. We've talked before about episodes that focus more on the maybe military aspect or government aspect of the Federation and Starfleet, and I think about an episode like The Wounded is a good example. As much as I always say, like, oh yeah, that stuff's cool, but like, I love character stuff and all that, that's all true, but I do really have a fascination with the more bureaucratic side of Starfleet. And like something like this is of high interest to me. And honestly, like I thought TNG was going to get a lot more into it, and it really hasn't that much. Like we get stuff here and there, but the whole idea of like Starfleet, CIA burying things and being corrupt and all that, we usually just say it as jokes or like as memes or whatever. But for it to actually dive into it, it's very fascinating. And the idea that the Enterprise, the flagship of the Federation, is run by Picard, the most virtuous person of all time. Starfleet all hates him. Like, they do not want to deal with him. And it's like, it's such a fascinating setup that I almost kind of wish the show had gotten into it more. Maybe we'll see it in the movies or something, or later in the season, I don't know. But of Picard almost not being against the Starfleet, but just like being their biggest obstacle for them trying to do shady shit.
Yeah, exactly. I second all of that. and I wish we could see more of it for sure. I mean, we've seen plenty of examples with the Badmirals and all that, but it almost makes you want. I mean, they almost did it here with saying there's other people who are involved in this conspiracy, and I would it be ridiculous, but I would love a Hydra fucking infiltration into Starfleet where they could just say, oh, that's why all these bad decisions and we have all these horrible people that are promoted and all our best people are left on starships, mainly the Enterprise.
Yeah.
I'd love to know what are the day-to-day things on these other ships. Are there bad apples, bad captains, bad whatever that are doing things? And if the goal or one of their goals is to overturn this or turn the tides on this against the Romulans or whoever. I mean, I know back in Star Trek VI they wanted to take out the Klingons. I wonder if any of those descendants of those people are still wanting to break that treaty with the Klingons or any of these other species. And yeah, it absolutely fascinates me.
And I love the idea because I feel like with Star Trek VI, you bring up that example. A lot of the time with Star Trek, it's been more just on the incompetence or buffoonery of Starfleet, of like, we make fun of these admirals because they're so arrogant, but they're just idiots. But something like this, it is more sinister. It's like more of a conspiratorial side, which, all the way back in season 1, conspiracy. They did something like that, but it was because of alien bugs, So it's like, it's not really a true type of conspiracy. I love that episode, but, something where it is a true conspiracy, like a Shield Hydra type thing, that is really fascinating to me. I don't know. I feel like if it was going to happen, it would have been this show. So I just kind of feel like it's not really going to happen. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, we got plenty to watch, but maybe I'm wrong. But, because DS9 is just kind of like, I feel like it's very disconnected from Starfleet, which is fine for what it is, but it's not going to get into, maybe I'm wrong, but maybe it does.
I love purely just episodic episodes where it's all self-contained, but if there was a huge overarching plot of a Starfleet conspiracy infiltration that's carried over into Deep Space Nine and then every bounces back and forth. I mean, they already did it with the Bajorans and the terrorist groups there. So it'd be a little weird now we're going to do it with the Federation. So I don't know. What do you think about the treaty? The whole, I wonder what that was. It was just like a stand-stop of not developing any more nuclear weapons because, the Romulans already have the cloaking ability, which is their thing. So obviously we don't know any of the details besides that the Federation can't form that. Do you think there's any restrictions on what the Romulans can't make? I mean, because it just seems that the Romulans have what they need, and they're just constantly trying to toe the line and pull us into breaking it. That's so many episodes. They're just very good at trying to bait us into come on, break it.
Yeah, I think it's essentially, they call it a treaty. I think it's kind of essentially a ceasefire agreement, and I think just part of that ceasefire was, you can't do cloaking technology. So that's the way I take it, because they're not at war, but they're not like they are with the Klingons where they have peace with them. They're just their own entities, the neutral zone, like that's a whole thing. So I think it's more so about that. I loved getting to learn more about it. I would imagine that the Romulans probably didn't have to concede too much. It was probably, we just won't shoot at you. Like, we just won't attack you, basically, is how I kind of took it. Nothing that I have any complaints about, really. Direction was great from LeVar Burton. He had a few great sweeping shots we brought up, 10 forward and on the bridge. Some handheld good stuff, and then a lot of like kind of Dutch angles, which really helped with the tension. It wasn't like over the top or anything, but it was like helped with the tension, especially later on in the episode where I actually felt tense when they were phasing through the asteroid and stuff. Like, they're gonna be fine, but like
I felt it.
Yeah.
I felt it because we've never dealt with that. I want to talk about that too. The whole idea of phasing through matter technology. Not only does it cloak, but you can phase through matter. I mean, I think Pressman was right. That is a huge tide changer in terms of what you can be able to do. Can you go through shields with that? Buildings, obviously. I wonder if you can, the whole Ant-Man Thanos thing, you just phase into a Romulan ship and then we'll
destroy it.
Just destroy it.
Yeah, that's very interesting. If I was going to take away anything from the episode, and this is not something that harms the episode at all, I just think it's a little bit funny, just like very, very small nitpick. The whole thing is based around they can't make cloaking technology. Why did this phaser this phasing thing also have to cloak? Like, couldn't they just make it so you can phase through stuff and not cloak, and then you would be allowed to do it? But it has to be cloaking because it has to go against the treaty. So it's just a funny little thing.
But yeah, if you just see a giant ass fucking Federation ship heading towards your ship, why aren't you stopping? Stop! We're gonna shoot! We're gonna shoot you! Why aren't you stopping? You know?
Yeah.
So,
or just imagine like going through an asteroid, just not cloaking at all. Yeah, it'd be weird. And who knows if the technology fictionally even exists? But
just like they're so goddamn lazy. Like cops turning on their lights to just run red lights. Instead of just doing a little maneuver around the asteroid, they just waste so much energy to phase through it instead of just going around it.
Yeah, that's pretty hilarious. Imagine phasing through an entire planet. That's pretty crazy.
Hopefully you have enough power to last throughout the entire planet. You know how big a planet is to just phase through the entire thing?
Yeah, true. Well, if they... yeah, that's true.
And then if something fucks up, you're done.
And is this still run on dilithium crystals? Are those still a resource that you need to take care of?
What is Scotty's opinion on this? I need to know.
Oh, yeah, what's he up to?
Phase through an entire planet? Are you fucking out of your mind?
So now we're going to read our patron takes. So over on Patreon, our members over there get to write comments, their thoughts, their takes about every episode of Star Trek that we watch, and then we go through the list and read some of them. If they're insightful, funny, ridiculous, we just choose whichever ones we want. So if you want to be read in our videos, go over to patreon.com/targetaudience, sign up, and you can leave your patron takes as well. No one brings up Alex will be conflicted, S-tier Riker lore, but E-tier for bringing up the warp speed limit. When did they bring it up?
Did they bring it up?
Completely missed me if they brought it up.
We're probably talking.
Yeah, probably for the best.
Probably for the
Would have
best.
made us mad.
Yeah. Jesse Manning, probably my favorite dressing down from Picard. He's just so profoundly disappointed in Riker. It's one of those I was just following orders moments that Picard is so staunchly against, and they've kept that aspect of his character pretty consistent throughout the series. I agree. Elway Simpson, after watching Lost, seeing Terry O'Quinn with hair is very off-putting. What do you think about the choice with having his hair being very similar to Picard's in terms of... Do you think that was to spark some sort of conflict of interest? His two commanding officers look very much alike.
Yeah.
Same color eyes, I think, and very similar haircuts, and he has to choose.
Yeah, I definitely didn't think about that, but yeah, they do have a similar look. He almost looks like maybe even like a younger Picard in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's interesting. Dark Cronus. I honestly always felt they should just have given up the cloaking aspect of the technology and just keep the phasing part. That way they are not breaking the treaty. That's exactly what I said, but as I said, like, episode needs to happen. So it's one of those.
Yeah, and plus I don't think... It's not going to work. You can't just be... There. Immediately, any ship is in any vicinity of anywhere. They know about it right away, and you're just going to... I mean, if there's an unmanned station somewhere, or if we can somehow minimize it and have it just attributed to just people.
Oh, like a Kitty Pryde from X-Men?
Yes, or even a shuttlecraft. I think a shuttlecraft can probably sneak by some sensors. That could be very helpful. But not the full
Enterprise.
Oh my God, the Enterprise is heading straight for that space station. They're going to kill themselves. Oh, the Wolfsbane. Starfleet should really hire new negotiators for their treaties.
Yeah, it was 60 years ago. Hopefully they have. Oh, Thomas Cole really loves this. This is the perfect Star Trek episode. Let's go through it. It has an actual funny moment, my favorite in the show. Wouldn't you agree, number one? I don't. We can talk about that in a moment. It has world-building backstory with why the Federation doesn't use cloaks. It has a solid plot that works well with the character elements of the episode. It has good character exploration looking at how Riker has changed. It has character backstory looking at Riker when he was younger, building him out. It has not stupid inter-character conflict with our main characters, a good resolution between Picard and Riker, and it has a good guest actor in Terry O'Quinn. I remember basically all of that. What was the "Wouldn't you agree" number one joke? Do you remember?
I totally forgot about the beginning with the Captain Picard Day thing.
Oh, yeah.
The rest of the episode was so stellar, I forgot about the joking open.
Cold open, yeah.
Cold
open,
nice. Yeah. When Riker has a little mini Picard. It's like, wouldn't you agree number one?
Oh, that part.
Yeah, with his great impression. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, that was good. Would you say this is a perfect Star Trek episode? I mean, neither of us had any flaws with it.
I'd say it, yeah. I had literally no complaints. I mean, right off the bat, I was excited. It was a good hook. Everything that happened in it was great. It's one of those where another aspect of a perfect Star Trek episode is being able to go into it without needing to know all the other information. But I think this does a good job of painting that picture of telling of what so-and-so did in the past. It supplements. If you've seen Encounter at Farpoint, if you've seen all the other stuff, it definitely helps. But I do think you can watch this, not know anything about the characters, and I think it paints a good enough picture that where brand new people can be strung along. So yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, the only caveat I would put is while I can't even really argue about that being a perfect episode, it's not going to be in my, it's not one of my personal favorites. It's one of those just like I have no complaints. Really enjoyed it. It didn't, it didn't make me cry or get really emotionally invested in any of these characters or anything. It was just I appreciated it. It was one of those. It was like, this is really good.
Yeah, it was nice to see Riker's vulnerability again, similar to that we saw in Frame of Mind and Best of Both Worlds. That because for the most part it's always just or ugh. So it's nice to have him sit in what he's done in the past. Anytime you can do something with one of my favorite characters other than what I've just described, I think it's great. So there you go. All right, got a detractor here from Fedora the Explorer. I don't really care for this one. I am kind of okay with the captain developing secret cloaking devices to use in the future. They're all acting like he was torturing children, and I'm just not morally conflicted at all. I just don't want the Federation to go out into all-out war because of one guy going against their backs. I mean, I think that it's time to revisit this treaty, maybe. I think we've played enough fucking games with these Romulans going back and forth where they're, oh, we almost got you. Let's be adults right here. I mean, obviously, we've seen the Romulans work with us before with Spock and unification and all that. I mean, there was even a Romulan ambassador in Star Trek 6. Let's just all sit down here. Let's re-go over this Treaty of Algernon, because whatever they were smoking up there, I don't think we should stick with what we're doing here, the whole cloaking technology bit. But the Romulans are probably going to never give up that technology. This might be the best option. I don't know. I think both sides are going to go, no. I think definitely Starfleet probably compromised just to save lives. But what are you going to do?
Yeah, and I don't think, the whole thing with, oh, well, he's not torturing children or anything like that, that's not the point. Picard's, stance is that Starfleet signed this in good faith. I think Riker says the same line, too. They signed this in good faith. That is the law. That is what is the reality of the situation. And Picard is not going to stand for Starfleet being shitty and shady and doing things illegally, especially if there's risk of it starting war with the Romulans. But even if you take that away, just the pure moral of it is like Picard's not going to stand for that. It doesn't matter that it's not necessarily harming anybody, even though you could argue that it led to all those people dying on the ship 12 years ago. But even if you say, well, that was just because of the mutiny, blah, 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 whatever, it's still the principle of it. And Picard is the most principled human to ever exist. So,
yeah, and the whole argument of, well, they did it. No, you have to be above that.
100%. Aramis Calcutt with a great TA quote. Alex, his first name is Admiral. I don't remember when you said that, but I do remember you saying that about somebody. I think I said, what's his first name? His first name's Admiral.
You're probably asking, yeah, okay. Very vague memory of that. That's funny. All right, from Raphael Gayton here. The Pegasus is a fantastic episode that illustrates an important point. Despite the benevolence of the Federation and how humanity has evolved to a harmonious society, there are cracks in the armor of Roddenberry's hopeful future. Human beings, left unchecked, are far more crafty, devious, and dangerous than Romulans, Klingons, Cardassians, and even the Borg could ever be. I'm reminded of the scene in Hide and Q when Picard asks Q, "Is it that which frightens you?" And that brings me back to the Drumhead in terms of, about just humanity a little bit left unchecked or just wanting to pitchfork their way. And and the whole speech, who was it with? It was with Picard, and who was he talking to?
In the Drumhead?
Yeah, at the very end.
The woman, the woman who was trying
I'm talking about the very end when he talks about if we don't keep check. I mean, despite how far we've come, that's still that animalistic, horrible impulses.
Oh yeah. Is it Riker?
It might have been Riker. Yeah, it might have been Riker or Data. But that whole speech, that brings me back to that. No matter how far we progress and go forward, there's always those people, or always that drive, that horrible, I don't know, animalistic killer instinct, and it's so easy to just succumb to it. And we gotta do better or not do that. So, yeah, good point.
Absolutely. Excellent episode.